bits for this question.
Yeah. Go
All
ahead.
right, all right. So here's my question. So we just got done, just a little back history. We just got done talking about all the people who voted for or the red states, and in most cases you'll see the blue states, but they still have, and those are predominantly the major cities that won those states of Democrat. The surrounding counties, which in most cases are the suburbs, are red, right, J. Rock? Know what you?
Yeah, for the majority
Rural
from what I've
areas,
seen,
suburbs.
the ones basically that like Biden
If you ain't
flipped, like,
Philadelphia and Atlanta, you ready.
yeah, like Biden won Georgia, but he literally won like
Atlanta,
the counties surrounding Atlanta.
Fulton
Nothing
County.
else.
Fulton, Cobb, all them joints.
Okay, all right. So my question, and I've been thinking about this a minute, like, do y'all think that people are just loyal to their party, or are they loyal to Trump? Because I have just a sneaking suspicion that people voted because Trump. I mean, because they're just Republican.
So there's always a percentage of possibility, a percentage of people that will do something like that. But I'm gonna break it down like this. So the other night I was watching CNN, black dude, white dude, Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon were having a conversation. Don was speaking from a pure emotional standpoint. Wasn't talking numbers, not saying he don't know him, but this is what he said. He said that people that vote for Trump, basically, not quoting him, basically have a disregard for everything that he stood for and don't care about people that look like me. Chris said that's not true. White man. Chris said that's not true. He says that Trump was basically a fad and it'll pass. Meaning all that red you see, all that 70 million you saw was holding on to something based on fear of losing things that they have, fear of whatever it may be. In other words, it wasn't all about racism. It was all about, similar to what you said, about being Republican and being conservative and what they stand for. All right. So they did not come to an agreement on that. They both argued their points or what have you. My stance on it, first I'm going to say I can understand what Chris was saying, because when you're not close to a situation, you tend to know less about it, right? That's common. You don't know if we don't know what the average white couple or a couple that lives in a trailer park, whatever they go through, we don't know their day to day. We just don't know. We can't say how they behave, what struggles they deal with, anything like that. If we're not close to a white dude that makes millions of dollars and his day to day, we don't know. So to Chris' point, I can see a person that makes a ton of money and saying Trump has made my life better for me and my family, and all that rhetoric that's about racism and all this stuff, I can't identify with because I don't believe it. I don't see it. I feel like it's not something that's actually happening. I don't think it is as prevalent as people say because they're not plugged into it. They can't see it. So I give him
Prioritize higher
right.
than.
So if you telling me, that's just like telling somebody that's an atheist that God is really real. They don't identify with that. They saying, hey, he's not real to me. So when they vote for Trump, that small percentage of people that benefit from him being in office say, hey, this guy is helping my family. So I'll vote for him. But however, what I do not agree with Chris is the fact that that's the majority. There's no way that that's the majority.
Yeah.
The majority of people are very plugged in to what Trump is about. They listen to his rhetoric. They participate in that level of ignorance, that hate, that disdain for a particular race, not like in Mexicans, not like in Black people. They are very, very, very aware of it. They plug into it. They feed off of it. They live off of it. That is giving them a voice and a platform that they have been waiting for years. And that is what I feel like. It don't even necessarily have to be that large majority, but even the middle class people that aren't dead on racist. They are aware of it as well because they're around people like, us or whatever it may be. They're not so separated from it that they're getting benefits from Trump. So my ending statement about that, it's not just about them voting for a party.
Party line.
Be as a person, something is missing inside of you to where you don't have any sense of empathy. You don't care about that demographic of people. You don't care about that race of people. There's something in you that is hate. And to me, I cannot respect that. So no, it's not about Republican. It's purely about supporting this guy and going after the things that he feel like are important to him, protecting suburbia and things, all that type of crap. So
I say this. The reason why I asked that is because we were talking about the numbers and the alarming numbers, and it's interesting and hard at the same time, but not hard to believe that so many people would vote based on like what we know about him as a character, and still decide to plug that number in without taking I'm just a true Republican, into consideration. Like I'm trying to make up an excuse in my head.
That's what I'm saying. So even then, and I want the other fellas to jump in, even then, you're making a choice. You're saying, I support this guy because I'm a Republican, even though he says all these other things. Bro, something is missing inside of you.
Right. And that's where, to me, that's where the disconnect is. Like, because like I ain't gonna lie, like you said, yeah, I'm happy, with the outcome. But bro, you talking about 70 million people. And I thought about that. And I can't remember. I think it was CNN, and it was early. It was early in the election. And I can't remember exactly how they asked, but they basically like, how they do kind of like, I think they call them like the exit polls. And they were basically like doing statistics on do people vote, were they voting for basic on policies, or were they voting on like value and character? And dude, that just hit me. I'm like, why do you have to separate? Like, why do I have to? So I gotta either vote on policies, and to me, I can't ignore your character. I can't ignore, your lack of empathy, because at the end of the day, dude, you are the leader of the free world. Right. And the thing to me, and it's just my personal opinion, to me, Trump, he had a certain sector. We all know who they were. And I agree with Vito. I think V hit it on the head. If I'm in that top 4 or 5%, Trump probably was an excellent president, because every single thing he did benefited me because I got the type of money. But if you not in that number, I mean, how?
How is he?
Like how?
I'm gonna throw this back at you, and I want Price to touch on it too, because I know he's made similar remarks. I look at it this way too, and it's being Black. We're often taught vote Democrat. When we go vote, we just hit the Democratic button and it presses all of them. We don't even know the candidates. Mm-hmm. So in a way, it's like, all right, we're teaching people we're telling people to look at the character of a person on the red side, but in many cases, or in some cases, we grow up just saying, hey, vote Democrat because we Black. That's the party that cares about us, So right. It's hard to understand that there are people who don't vote Republican just because that's what they've probably been taught, because they live in a rural area. Republicans care about you more or whatever, and them taking that in consideration in this election.
And to that, I would say I agree with you. I can see definitely that you definitely have that on both sides, but to me, and I agree with that. I can see that on, like, I'll just say like a blank canvas. Like, so if we say that happened in 2016, if we can say that happened on 2016, then I really don't have an argument. My issue comes into play when This guy has been in office for 4 years. Okay. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. He was sketchy before while he was campaigning. The dude got open cases while he campaigning and videos, he grabbing girls by the puss and so this dude been literally talking this same hate, this same divisiveness since 16, and like literally you've seen it for 4 whole years. So to me, even if I'm Republican, I can't block out what I've seen for these 4 years, bro, unless I agree with those values. Because to be being a Republican or a Democrat to me does not sway my character in any way.
Right.
You look at Barack Obama, when he ran against McCain, like they were polar opposites as far as their policies and how they wanted to make it happen. But nobody ever doubted, McCain as a person and his characters. Even like I listened to his speech this week. They said that was like one of the greatest, concession speeches ever. Because all he talked about was, okay, we lost, congratulations to him. So now I'm his ally. Now I'm going to work with him. He's a great person. You just can't be a leader without that character piece. How can you? Trump to me wanted to be a president for the people that voted for him. And if you didn't vote for him, you were nothing. And you can't do that because the people that you're throwing out a whole sector of people for, like you said, 4 or 5%. And I'm like, to me, that's insane, bro. You can't.
I drew a great deal of respect. You brought up McCain, for McCain during that election for sure. And then what really lost me with Trump was when he talked about McCain and the fact that he was a POW. I was like, bro, are we seriously saying?
He must have been a good soldier because he got caught.
Because he got caught. Are you kidding me? Like, and y'all not listening to this? But anyway, Price, go ahead, man.
So to answer your question about the Black people and Democrats, so my opinion is that the majority of Black people vote Democrat because the Democratic Party, from a holistic standpoint, generally has policies that reflect more of our culture. And I say holistic because there are some things that you could find maybe within the Republican Party that might be more beneficial for Black people as a whole. When you talk about holistic, from health insurance and all types of different issues, typically the Democratic Party is the party that leans more towards those issues that would be beneficial for us. When it comes to those people voting, are those people voting Republican just solely because they're Republicans and they're voting for their party? Hell no. It can't be. So all along we've heard that Trump his policies are set up for his base. That's all we've been hearing. And that his base was about 33%, 40%. That's what we were hearing the whole time. Everything he's doing is for his base. After this election, we just realized that there were 70 million people, which actually broke the record.
Yeah,
broke the record.
He sure did.
The record. Like if Biden didn't break the record, also he broke the record.
Yep.
Trump would have 70 million people
shattered the
record. Chose to vote for Donald Trump. So when you say was it just because they're Republicans?
Not possible.
To me, it's not possible at all. For one, you talk about this country is based on, or supposed to be based on, Christian values.
Right.
When you talk about Christian values, whenever I ask anybody that is a Republican, what about Trump's personality allows you to just totally ignore all the things that we've seen when you promote Christian values?
Love.
Well, they'll say, well, he's the president, and I don't care about what he does as long as his policies reflect what I want. So as a Christian, we're going to ignore the Christian element of it.
Jesus, get your ass out here.
Right. Just but but I'm like, if we're talking about a business, if we're talking about something that's more personal, if you're talking about somebody that you're close with and you have a business relationship with personally, you're not going to ignore their Christian values.
No, sir.
Well, if you're talking about your daughter dating a guy, you're not going to ignore his values solely because he got money.
Oh, how much you make a year? Oh yeah,
right.
you can call her B's and H's and slap her and punch her. That's cool.
Yeah.
You make
Say the
money.
devil your homeboy? That's what's up.
So for me, all this ties back to the ugly underbelly of America.
Yeah.
The
man.
DNA.
When it comes to protecting, and I'll say it comes to protecting whiteness.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
That's what it is, in my opinion.
Supreme white.
And to me, I don't take it as being racist. I don't say racist, but it is certainly racial.
Yeah.
And it may be subconsciously, where it's not something that you openly realize that you're doing, but they definitely are doing. It's definitely racial, in my opinion. And it is to me, 70 million people screams
70, bro.
that you are protecting whiteness in this country, because this country is changing. When all those issues that we look at for Trump, when we talk about, it'll be immigration, which is a racial issue.
All day.
It'll be COVID. You can even put COVID in that, because Black and brown people are affected much greater with COVID than other races that we know of. Based off of health insurance, which is another racial issue as well. So it boils down to racial lines. So I mean,
they want to keep them
right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, and I'll say this, and I'll be done. And then, like you said, to me, I agree with Price. It goes back to the DNA of what America is and has shown. Everything is on a basis of the fear of losing something.
Yeah.
Right.
Like because to me, you unless you're blind, you can't say you don't see, and that's where I lose respect and all patience for people. Well, I don't see the injustice. Okay, I'm done talking to you. You cannot tell me you live in America and you don't see injustices done to Black and brown people. Like I've been in banking for shootings. We talking about the killings. I've been in banking for the last 10 years. Every year you hear about a bank red line denying Black people on home loans that they qualified for, whatever.
That's what I say. It ain't even just about people getting shot or the police. None of that.
No, that's to me the violence,
insult to injury.
And I hope this don't come out wrong, but to me, that's the low hanging fruit.
I get what you're saying.
The killing.
That's the shiny stuff.
Yeah, you got Black and brown people having a fundamental request that says, I'm not asking for you to put me ahead of you. I'm not asking for you to give me this handout. All I'm asking is for you to give me the same opportunity,
equal and fair treatment
that you have. Give me the same opportunity. Just let me run the race. All I'm asking you to do is don't intentionally put 50 barriers in my lane, and you starting with the head start with no barriers in your lane. But to me, that's easy as a person with empathy and compassion. I'm like, okay, you want to be equal, but to the majority, they look at that equality of me coming up and gaining those rights as them having rights taken away.
Yeah.
And that's the fundamental thing you have. And that's why it's always in balance. Me saying, okay, you eat apples, I just want to be able to eat an apple too. But you think, well, now that Jesse got an apple, he's taking away apples from me and Chris,
I got 9
and John and Tim. So now Jesse just want an apple. I got 4 apples.
I know you
I can't give him an apple. I got 3. No, I had 4. Now I got 3 apples. So, and that's the thing. It's like Black people aren't asking for extra stuff. They're just asking for the same opportunities that supposedly, like you said, Price, Christian value ran country and all these rights. Supposedly, that's what he preaches. But everything you say, it don't add up. So I think that's my issue. So it's like, and then you got some that, Vito, okay, you put those 50 hurdles in front of V. And V, however, man, he came out the mud. He made it over all 50 of those hurdles and made it. He got 100 homeboys that didn't make it. Some of them tripped at the 10th hurdle. Some of them tripped at the gate. Some of them tripped at the 20th hurdle, but whatever. V the only one across the finish line. You then rub salt in my wounds and turn around and throw V in my face.
Right.
That it can happen. He made it.
Right.
What about the other 100 people behind him that couldn't?
Right.
That couldn't.
Like I ain't just jump over 100.
Yeah, like V made it, but my boy bloodied, he bruised, he ain't got no energy to go no further.
Right.
So and then again, you just multiply that. That's one situation, but then you multiply that times 400 years.
Yeah.
Generation after generation after generation.
Let me say his last point. So for me, I told my wife at this point, and for the person that's out there that's listening to this point, I would say, think back, if you, especially if you're the one that's saying there's nothing racial about my vote. I didn't have no alternative means in my vote. My thought process would be to that person, or what I would say to that person is, think back to the 50s and the 60s. You had people who were outright, blatantly racist, did not want to see the country progress. They were strong in their opinion about continuing to be a divided country. That's just what they want. Mm-hmm. The way that it was the way that it needed to be. You also had people who witnessed what was occurring and did absolutely nothing about it.
Nothing.
So when you see that, to me, when I see that 70 million, I'm not upset with the people that are Trump supporters, who are huge believers of Trump. Right. They back him, they whatever. I'm upset with them people that went to that poll, who had that exit interview with the reporter and was basically like, I voted. I don't want to speak about who I voted for, but I just kind of I went in and I voted. I had strong opinions about this, and that.
Because them the ones coming back grinning in your face.
Grinning in your face. Those are the ones. To me, I have more issue with those individuals who don't stand on nothing.
Don't stand on nothing, bro.
Well, hey, I don't know if Deezy started speaking before I stepped away.
Nah, I want him to get in there though.
Yeah, get him in there. Like my boy just thinking, he pondering.
My boy put all his chin hairs out.
My boys, they speak so eloquently, and I'm a little bit more candid than that. But I say, hell no. These mothers don't care about nothing but their damn self. They don't care they don't care who they step on. That's the whole point. So y'all know I work in a predominantly like white neighborhood. And so all the people I see are pretty much well-to-do people. And they are not colored, except for maybe peach or red. And I've literally like gave my opinion to some of them. And they're like, I can see that. I can see why you would say that. And they still walk out of there with their Trump 2020 mask on. So if you can see where I'm coming from, if you can understand my plight, then how the hell
can you make that decision?
Right.
Because it's more about, because I feel you, I understand you, but you can't have none of mine.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got 100, man. If I give you one, I'm only gonna have 99.
That's heavy though, Deezy. That's heavy, bro. Because like you said, you tell me that you see, you understand, but you still do it.
I literally had a guy say that to me last night.
How do you still do that?
What was something?
It makes no sense to me. And then you tell, huh?
What were some of the things that you told him or y'all talked about? We
talked about how crazy Trump's followers are, like that crazy thing that happened with the caravan of people with the bus. Like I can't vote for a president who gonna praise people who do stuff like that. I told him about the racism, we talked about. I don't even remember what I was talking about because I got so mad that he acted like what I just said was crazy.
I'm glad you said that because it's crazy because, and I don't want us to run too long, but it's crazy because I had a conversation too. So I had a conversation over the internet. Got some guys I play a game with, and they obviously forgot I was black because they immediately. This was before the decision was made of who was going to be president. They immediately started saying, "Man, I sure hope Trump get reelected." So I paused for a second. I'm like, okay, let me see where this is going. Yeah, man, because Joe is just too creepy. I said, what you mean creepy? Man, you ain't seen all them videos where you sniffing little girls' hair and pulling them in for the hug when they don't want it. And I said, man, you do realize that you pretty much find anything you're looking for. I said, you do know Trump is, fighting lawsuits where he don't rape people. So
40 women,
want
50
to talk
women.
about creepy. I'm like, is that what you want to base your decision on? And they was like, man, but Joe and those Democrats are just lying. Look, Kamala Harris, she didn't even like Joe
Totally
years
disregarded
ago.
the 50 women.
So I was like, I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I said, man, the fact of the matter is my family is black. My friends are black. People that are very important in my life are black. I said, if you think 1 minute that talking about a dude being creepy is worth their life, then you're a fool. I said, man, there are people out here in this world today that can't go to the store without being berated. They can't do certain things just because of the color of their skin, because these people are given a platform and a voice by this fool that's in office. And I said, you talking about creepy. And you said Trump is better. And that's the only reason you can give me is because the other dude is creepy.
Snip somebody's
I
head.
said, man,
I never thought I'd see the day when I would rather have George W. Bush.
I said, man, do y'all really believe that I'm gonna choose something like that over my family's well-being? I can see what you're saying. Man, I'm not political. I'm not gonna vote anyway, but I just figured Joe was creepy. I said, man, I'm glad you're not voting because I definitely don't need people like you out there to help this dude get reelected. But it's people out there like that. That to me, and man, that was military. Man, I honestly, it's been a lot better since Trump been in office. That was another one of my decisions. But I mean, I'm not gonna vote. People are sick, bro. Like seriously, it don't matter what you tell them in these conversations. I mean, I understand what you're saying, man, and I get that, man. I really do. I'm not close to that situation, so I can't really speak on it. I can't really feel it.
You can see it.
How can you feel a nigga not being well-being, no well-being, by dying in the street? How can you not feel that?
Zero empathy.
So
because you don't have to. I'm a person. We're all black men on here, so we pretty much got a similar plight. But I don't know. Let's just go back in the day. You got the color stuff. Vito is a light skinned black man. I'm a dark skinned black man, so I might go through a little more stuff than Vito. I don't have to know exactly
right
or be able to relate exactly to what Vito went through to have empathy and understanding.
You shouldn't have to
of what he's saying. So if I'm a white male, I already know you can't understand what. If you're a white male, I already know you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't you you don't you can't relate to it because, like I said, I got tons of friends, white friends. We've even had like discussions at work, forums at work where we've had dialogue with some of our friends, and I'm like, I'm not asking you to like lie and tell me you understand what it's like being pulled over as a black man.
But if
you
I
don't.
tell you,
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, as a black man, number one, I fear that. I have to fear whatever. We're in the same work environment, but just because I'm black, I gotta work 3 times harder. My number's 2-3 times higher than yours, yet you're getting the promotion over me. I'm the last to get promoted. I got a black son, black daughter, where now we having a regular talks, but now we got to add a 30 step syllabus or whatever as to what to do if a police officer stops you. You know, I got a daughter who's just naturally inquisitive. You say, hey, Jade, I need you to do that. What do you need me to do that for? She's not being smart about it. She's not being rude, sweetest girl ever. She's just an inquisitive person. But if that cop pull her over, I didn't see your license and registration. May I ask why you need to see? Got up, boom, she did. She asked a question. You know, I gotta tell my kid, all right. Or as a black man, I'm thinking in my head, I go, okay, to make sure I got my license and my registration on my dash. That way, if I get pulled over, I can reach and touch it while he see my hand. But then the whole time, I'm scared when he pulled me over, so I can't move too fast because then he might, do something to me. Then I can't move too slow because then he might think I'm disrespecting him. It's like, dude, and so you take that situation and you live that every single day. Every day you wake up. Like you can't tell me, like you said, Price, when I'm done. Well, I understand that. I'd rather you tell me do whatever. I don't feel that, man. You going on miss me with that.
Get the hell out.
How can you tell me you understand that, the magnitude of that, and you empathize with that, but then go vote for you're in the 70 million?
I'm gonna tell you why. They don't care.
Exactly.
So here's the deal. So I don't know the lady's name. I think her name is Jane. Older white lady with the white hair to do all the
did all the studies and stuff.
Yeah, I've been doing the social experiments.
Yeah, with years. That kid John was so crazy.
So the way that I know they don't care, or some of them don't care, is because one of those social experiments she had, she went to the room, it was an auditorium. She asked, just by show of hands, who in here would like to change places with the black person?
Zero.
And zero hands were raised.
Zero.
So they know. So her point for that was, if nobody is raising their hand, then that lets me know that everyone is well aware that what they experience is much better than what these people experience.
No matter how bad, no matter how bad, what level you on is better than that.
On Lovecraft Country, ain't nobody taking that potion to go the other way.
Ain't nobody taking that potion to go the other way.
Man, do y'all ever get that? And I know everybody here is educated, right? So, do y'all ever get that where people act like because you educated that America has like done you a favor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got the same chance that everybody else got.
Yeah.
Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Bring up education. Well, the inner city, the education system is shot, man. These kids don't even got books. Well, you got a college degree.
Bro, it go further than that. You get people to tell you that slavery was beneficial to you.
Right.
What?
We brought you over here, gave you a chance.
All right.
Now you've been over there eating dirt. Okay.
Oh, bro.
Man, yeah, man. But we talk about this all night, man. But hopefully, the 70 million, I ain't got no hope for that. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, we can depend on ourselves first to try to keep making a difference, bro. And we just more aware now. That's how I see it. We just more aware now. We more aware than ever. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And just a judgment by what everybody's saying, this was a surprise, man. It really was.
I never would have thought that many people.
Yeah. It wasn't surprising to me. I thought he was gonna win. I'm gonna be honest.
Man, it was a surprise to me. Just the sheer number, bro. I really felt in my heart that Joe was gonna win. And I'm not saying it was gonna be a landslide, but to break records, bro, and to have it that close, that was a lot for me, bro. It was heavy on me for a minute. And I'm just like, man, this is where I live. You know what I'm saying? This is where I work. This is where I shop.
This is America.
This is America, bro. So, all we can do is the best we can to make it better for ourselves, man. And just keep pushing, bro. So we out of here, fellas. It's a HBCU short as we can possibly make it. Peace.
Never short.